Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live for Financial Fitness Friday. I got Dave here. Dave, what's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy? Boys are back in town, man. Feels like it's been a little while.
Yeah, that. And I'm not in the studio. I'm actually in my office, which is why you see the computer behind me. Um, Basically, what I want to really touch on today, and I think something that everybody needs to hear with the election coming up, is I think that from now until the end of the year, it's going to be very, very crazy. Okay. Very crazy. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. Markets, I think that we're going to start seeing some like whipsaw action. And what I mean by that is extremes. Like we might see one day we're up, 3, 4%, and then we might have some big drops too, 3, 4, or 5% in some of the markets. I do think that because I think geopolitically things are going to be a little nuts, right? So what I want to talk about is how to get through that, how to focus, how to stay sane, right? And the first part is everybody should and needs to go vote, right? A lot of what you're going to see between now and then is designed to destabilize. It's designed to prevent, not have people be afraid of voting, right? So make sure that you vote and everyone you know votes. Now, the other thing about all this chaos is understand it's going to fall into one of two categories. Okay. Things you can control, things you can't control. If you can't control it, don't stress about it. You just prepare for it as best you can. Best example I could give you is Hurricane Milton. We just went through Hurricane Milton. Nothing we do can stop that hurricane from coming. Okay. But what do? You prepare for it. So we put up storm shutters. We did as much work as we can around the house and the area to make sure that we weren't leaving projectiles that were going to hit our neighbors, right? And so that's kind of all you can do is prepare for it. Now, there are things that are absolutely in your control, right? How many hours you put in, how hard you work, what your daily production is. Like these are all the things that you actually have control that make a meaningful difference in your life. Okay. Are you working out? Okay. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you doing what you need for you? That's really where your focus needs to be throughout this time. And when I say throughout this time, it's not just up until the election. Okay. I have a funny feeling that depending on how the election goes, there's going to be some chaos after it. Okay. And it's again, it falls into one or two categories: shit you can control, shit you can't control. Dave, what are your thoughts on this before I dive a little deeper?
Yeah, man. I think you're spot on with everything you're saying. To add to that, I think it's going to be chaotic no matter what, right? Like it doesn't matter who's in, who's not in. Again, the Bloods and Crips mentality, right? Like there's going to be chaos regardless, and you have to expect that unless you're really living in a bubble or you're just blatantly not paying attention. it's it's going to get wild. There's going to be civil unrest. I wouldn't doubt if there's going to be some mass amount of violence in general. You have to have a heightened awareness. You need to be vigilant, keep your head on the swing, control what you can control. But I think the awareness is the big thing. It's a conversation I have with my wife all the time. Look, keep all eyes around you. Like just look at all times. It's very important. And guys, you could think and say, "Oh, it's conspiracy theorist stuff. You guys are crazy. You're doomsday preppers." Like, I mean, has any of the shit like not come to light up until this point? Like, ask yourself that. So what is really far fetched? I don't think any of it is. You know,
Yeah, but I don't even think we're going there, right? Like I'm just saying just the basic stuff. Nothing that we said or we talked about, I would say is extreme, is tinfoil, is conspiracy, right? Or conspiracy theory. It always gets a little crazy before and after elections.
yeah,
Okay. Now I do think that in whatever we have been dealing with, you just amplify the past by 10, and then we're still somewhere around there. All right. So just going off of that. But my point is your ability to blot out, okay, or steer clear of distractions and focus on the controllables from now until the end of the year is going to, it'll make or break your year. And here's the other thing, guys. Not only could it make or break this year, it can make or break next year. Okay? Because I'm seeing it. Like, I'm seeing it. Businesses are down. This is not an easy environment to operate in. And there are a few people that are really doing well in it, right? There are a few, like, there's outliers everywhere. All right. And so my point is, what is different about the outliers that is uncommon from everybody else? They focus on what they can control and they do the best they can to execute on that. And when you see that, especially when you see so much data going the other way, it proves to you that whatever you want to put in and whatever you can control, and to the ability you can control your emotions and execute on your plan, is still the ability that you have to gain market share and to be a lot less stressed. Because let's face it, if you worry about every little thing, okay, you're not going to worry about the things that matter, things that help. Okay. And I'll tell you, like, point blank, and Dave, I mean, you can back this up and verify this. I've been very, very pessimistic. Okay. Very pessimistic. It turned out a lot of it to be true. But you know what actually spun that around for me? As someone who actually remembers, September 11th, 2001, and the next day, being down here and seeing how the country has rallied behind North Carolina and with Helene, and seeing how we're doing it again with Milton, and being part of that, that has actually that's brought me back a lot of hope, right? Seeing everybody come together, seeing everybody chip in, seeing everybody help out. It's also very sad. Government response is beyond pathetic, but whatever. That is what it is. Can't control that. What can we control? What we do, the actions we take, the things we do every single day. That's my point here. That is my entire point for this show.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better, man. And I think when you're saying about pessimistic, I think on the optimistic side, at some point in time, things will come together. People will come together, because nobody's down with all this craziness, man, with all this chaos. And the ones that they do show you, that's a very, 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 very slim margin of people that really, what have they contributed to society? They would get owned in any like public forum conversation or whatever route you want to take. But, again, it goes back to intentional focus. I think being intentional with everything you do, it's a big proponent. Go on my page. One of the wild things I want to do, you talk about going into next year and being solid. I put together basically like a 75 hard plan for 6 straight months for 180 days. Why? I want to end this on a solid note, and I want to go in to quarter 2 with momentum, with steam, 275 hards back to back in phase 1 all together. It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. There's a couple people running with it right now. And, that's the intentional focus. Why? Because that program, I talk about it all the time. It does something to keep the wheels moving, to keep the axe sharp, to keep the discipline in place. And as a company or as a unit, or people were around, everybody levels up, everybody performs at a higher level. So that was something we talked about, and it was important. Audit your time more than ever. Again, I got Mr. Master Calendar over here. You know what I mean? Audit your time, man. It's so important. And I think in chaotic times, you laugh, man, but hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate the shit out of you for that, man. Like I'll beat that like a dead horse, bro, because it's helped me tremendously. It really has. Yeah. But in chaotic times, man, people get passive. They stay on the defensive. They play defense. Like now's the time you got to play offense, man. You got to keep pushing. You got to push harder. Take a little more calculated risk. Don't be afraid to make some moves, man.
Awesome. I love it. All right, guys. We'll catch you on Mindset Monday. Take care. Hope you're doing well. Have a great weekend.
Be great, y'all.
Church.
Yeah, buddy.